And this right here is why Keanu isn't holding back. He's calling out Whoopi and the rest of the View's crew as straight-up puppets for a bigger hidden agenda. And honestly, when you look at Whoopi's history, it's kind of hard to argue with him. You remember?
Not born Whoopi Goldberg.
No. My name is Karen. Karen Johnson, like the Tupperware.
We all are collectively tired of Whoopi Goldberg at this point and really would like for her to shut the hell up. All of us. Let's take a moment to look at the origins of the last name Goldberg, because never in my life have I ever known a black person last name Goldberg. I am so tired of these paid props pushing an agenda to convince us black people here in America that we have it.
She's caught backlash multiple times for brushing off serious topics, standing up for celebs with shady pasts, and dropping lines that feel way too rehearsed. Like, who's really writing her scripts? The crazy part, she barely ever faces real consequences. It's like she's got this unshakable shield around her.
Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
I'm sorry.
No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it. It's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at the table to go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day, we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave States.
I'm talking about
nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
And let's be real, that kind of protection doesn't just fall from the sky. So this isn't just about Whoopi being sloppy. If Keanu's telling the truth, The View is part of something way deeper, a setup. A machine built to confuse, stir drama, and keep people emotionally tangled up so they're too distracted to think straight. But now here's the big question. What exactly did Keanu hear or witness that made him speak out now? And why is The View turning up the heat more than ever lately? That's where things start to get real strange. So get this, ABC recently put together a fancy internal awards event, and they had a surprise planned. They wanted Keanu Reeves to present Whoopi with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Sounds like a classic PR moment, right? But Keanu wasn't having it. Not even close. He shut it down immediately and reportedly told his team straight up, Whoopi is not a good person. And that wasn't the first time he pushed back either. Word is, The View has been trying to snag Keanu for years, especially during the John Wick 4 promo run, but he turned them down every single time. Why? Because he knows the game. They twist his words, flip the script, and spin his image to fit their agenda. And Keanu's not about that life.
It's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go.
Them niggas are having bombs dropped on them right now. We at this bitch with a school bus.
This is the country.
Now.
This is the country with the most black millionaires. If you look at the Forbes list, 30 under 30, how many black people was on there? How many black people was on the top content creators list? 10 M's plus.
It's no way.
Like, what the hell? What the hell?
Did I hear that?
What the hell?
She up $60 million talking about her life hard because she black.
Did I just hear
What
that
the
right?
fuck?
Them niggas getting blown up.
There's
Right
no
now.
way I heard that right, bro.
Bro, I'm sick of the whole black people are oppressed shit.
I just cannot believe that shit. Not
This shit
if
is
you're
fucking
black.
bullshit. We talking about black people getting hung. What the fuck?
Whoopi, you probably have security. You're Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi
That played
cushion.
on did she play on The Color Purple?
Yes, man. So do they believe America is still in like the 1940s,
You know what?
30s?
She's stuck in The Color Purple. She shouldn't have played that role. Cause that's what's the problem. When you do them slavery movies in the United States, that's the problem right now. They need to stop making slave movies.
No, I truly believe we did not suffer as much as our great-grandparents and our great-great-grandparents. We are so blessed right now in America, bro. I don't understand why people keep trying to push.
In a recent interview with Variety, Keanu dropped some seriously heavy words. He said, "It's this sensorium. It's a spectacle, and it's a system of control and manipulation. We're on our knees looking at cave walls and seeing the projections, and we're not having the chance to look behind us. That right there, that's some deep stuff. But what comes next takes it to a whole other level." Just days after that, Whoopi was spotted on The View rocking a sweater with a Prince Hall Masonic logo front and center. That symbol isn't just some cool design. It's tied to a secretive branch of the Freemasons, a group that's long been rumored to be connected to elite power circles and shadowy influence. And let's be honest, there's no way that was just a casual wardrobe pick. But Whoopi tried to play it off like nothing. She addressed it before the cameras started rolling, telling the audience, "Before we get into the show, let me apologize. Yesterday, I wore a sweater that apparently upset a lot of people. That was not my intention. I simply bought a sweater from the internet and I will never wear it again. And that is all I can say. I still don't know what the connotations are or why people are upset, but I am not going to wear it again." Really? She says she didn't know what it meant? That's a pretty bold oversight for someone constantly in the spotlight. This wasn't just any old sweater, it was dripping with meaning. And a lot of folks aren't buying the "I didn't know" excuse. Whoopi recently stirred up major controversy after showing up on The View wearing a sweater stamped with the Prince Hall Masonic logo, a symbol deeply connected to a secretive branch of the Freemasons, an organization that's been linked for years to elite circles and underground power structures. This wasn't just some cozy knit from the clearance rack. This was a bold, symbolic statement. And yet, Whoopi tried to wave it all off like it was no big deal, claiming she just grabbed it online and had no clue what it stood for.
Why is Whoopi Goldberg so insufferable? Honestly, why is Whoopi Goldberg so insufferable? You can't be this delusional and you cannot run in the Victim Olympics so much that you would literally try to make the argument that being in Tehran as a woman in 2025 is the equivalent of being a black person in the United States of America in 2025. No way that she's sitting on this program trying to make this argument and running the Victim Olympics to that extent.
Before the cameras even started rolling, she addressed the live audience and said, "Before we get into the show, let me apologize. Yesterday, I wore a sweater that apparently upset a lot of people. That was not my intention. I simply bought a sweater from the internet and I will never wear it again, and that is all I can say. I still don't know what the connotations are or why people are upset, but I am not going to wear it again." Come on now, let's be real. Whoopi's not new to this game. She's been a major face on TV for decades. There's no way something with that much meaning made it onto her body by accident, especially not on national television. That's when the whispers started turning into loud chatter. People began saying Keanu's issue with Whoopi wasn't just personal, it was much bigger. Word on the street is Keanu sees her not just as a talk show host, but as a gatekeeper, someone who's in the system, playing her part for the higher-ups, pulling strings behind the curtain. And if Keanu's calling her a puppet, well, that changes everything. These are the kinds of receipts you just can't ignore. Keanu's been trying to pull back the curtain on Hollywood for years, and from the looks of it, he's paid the price. The big studios, they've been icing him out. In a recent interview with IndieWire, Keanu dropped a truth bomb. He's not getting offered those big budget roles anymore, and it's not by choice. He was asked why he's been leaning into indie films instead of doing major studio blockbusters, and his answer was blunt. "I haven't been getting many offers from the studios." And when the interviewer followed up asking if he was cool with that, Keanu didn't sugarcoat it. He said, "No, it sucks, but it's just the way it is." So for me, that was just not happening. But I want to keep going, making things and telling stories. Boom, there it is. Now the real question is, what made Keanu turn so hard against Whoopi and The View? What does he know about her that pushed him to draw that line? Because it's not just about some logo on a sweater, it's deeper than that. Whoopi's been catching heat lately for stirring up controversy left and right. Just a few weeks ago, she made a wild comparison, claiming that black people in America have it way worse than women in Iran. That comment didn't sit well with a whole lot of people, and the backlash came fast. Folks lit up social media, calling her out for being completely out of touch.
Born Whoopi Goldberg.
No, my name is Karen. Karen Johnson, like the Tupperware.
Oh, I'm so pleased to be here. I've brought the most wonderful Tupperware for you.
Why the Whoopi then?
Because I was a bit of a farter.
We had a small theater in San Diego, and it was that big, and there was no backstage.
So if you were gas, you had to all the way through. I was a skipper and farter.
People would say, "Gee, you're like a whoopee cushion."
That's what it was. That's what it became. And I was whoopee cushion. And my mother said, "Are you crazy? You're diminishing your abilities. And if you call yourself by whoopee cushion, people are not going to appreciate what you can do."
And I said to her, "Oh, great namer of the stars. What should I use?" She said, "Well, you might as well use one of the family names. Use Goldberg, see what happens."
And I said, "Okay, well, we'll try it." Well,
with that kind of talk and the Freemason symbol situation, people are starting to wonder what side Whoopi's really on. And maybe, just maybe, Keanu's been seeing it all unfold from a distance and decided he's not playing that game anymore. But a lot of people out here think this goes way beyond Whoopi just being ignorant. Some believe she's playing a role and getting paid handsomely to do it. The theory? She's being used to push division, especially among black viewers, feeding fear, frustration, and hopelessness, and keeping folks emotionally stuck in the past while pretending it's all just her opinion. And when you really think about it, none of this feels like some string of random mistakes. Now here's where things get even more suspicious. Whoopi's name. Most people don't even know that Whoopi Goldberg isn't her real name. She was born Karen Elaine Johnson, but somewhere along the line, she switched it up. She claims Whoopi came from a joke about passing gas, which already raises eyebrows. But when it comes to the Goldberg part, no real explanation.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that,
no.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
but they don't. Are not only the
no,
only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
Okay.
I'm not part of this argument with.
I think what you're saying is that Trump himself
needs to look out
probably relies on a lot of these people that he's insulting.
Just a vague statement that her mom thought she needed a more serious last name. That's it, nothing more. So when you line all this up, the shady symbolism, the controversial statements, the carefully crafted image, it starts to look less like a loudmouth with bad takes and more like someone following a script, someone doing exactly what they're told to stir chaos and keep people arguing instead of thinking clearly. And this isn't new behavior either. Let's not forget, Whoopi's been defending problematic figures for years. Back in 2009, she openly stood up for Roman Polanski after he admitted to assaulting a 13-year-old. Her exact words? It wasn't grape, it was something else, but I don't believe it was grape. That left people shocked. And no, that wasn't some isolated slip-up. Whoopi constantly bashes cancel culture until someone she disagrees with is the target. Then suddenly, she's the first one calling for people to get booted from jobs, shows, and platforms. The double standards are wild, and more people are waking up to it. Back in 2018, when Roseanne Barr dropped that nasty tweet comparing Valerie Jarrett, a black woman, to an ape, the backlash was instant. And Whoopi?
All of my contractual obligations, and I was done. Then when I start getting calls from Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate, and they wanted me to come work for free. They wanted to go over to Cannes and promote this film internationally. And I said to them, I said, guys, my deal is with Lee Daniels, and I've done my job. And they all agreed. And this is what happens, in my humble opinion, when you don't go up to the hotel room. See, when I think about those women that said...
I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
Because contractually,
yes,
when you make a movie, regardless of who you signed the deal with,
yes,
your job is to go and promote said movie.
She didn't just back Roseanne's firing. She clowned her on national TV, even mocking her mental health with, "Don't blame the Ambien." And let's be clear, Roseanne's tweet was totally out of line. No excuses for that. But here's the twist. Now compare that to how Whoopi reacted when her own co-host, Kelly Osbourne, made a racist comment about Latinos on The View. Kelly said, "If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilets, Donald Trump?" Then tried to clean it up mid-sentence with, "Oh, that's not in the sense that, you know what I mean? There's more jobs in LA. Dons are not the only people." I didn't mean it like that. It was a total mess, but instead of holding Kelly accountable the way she did with Roseanne, Whoopi jumped to her defense saying, "Sometimes your head works faster than your mouth." Seriously? That's the excuse now? So where was all that heat and judgment she had for Roseanne? The truth is, it looks like Whoopi picks and chooses when to speak out about racism depending on who says it. That's why so many are calling her a master manipulator. She plays the role of the fearless truth teller, but behind the scenes, she's acting like a gatekeeper, protecting her circle and pushing the narrative that fits their agenda. And guess what? Keanu's not the only one calling her out. Several other Hollywood stars have backed up what he said about her hypocrisy. One of the loudest voices? Monique. She had first-hand experience with Whoopi's behind-the-scenes moves. Remember when Monique blew the lid off the whole situation with Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, accusing them of blacklisting her from the industry?
If you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected.
And when we did have that conversation, and what I said to you, my sweet sister, I said, "Whoopi, at what point did we stop saying the next time?" Because what was expected. But I want to answer it though.
Yeah.
I want to answer when you said
Do you want
contractual.
to get paid for the publicity?
Please let me answer. Yes, ma'am. Because if I had done something wrong contractually, they would have.
Well, when Monique came on The View, Whoopi didn't support her. She gaslit her right there on live TV, trying to twist the story and protect her powerful friends. Monique straight up explained that she did exactly what she was hired to do, but Whoopi, she switched up real fast, getting all condescending and smug, telling Monique she could have schooled her on how to handle her own career. The nerve! That moment right there exposed everything Keanu Reeves has been warning folks about, how the industry protects its own and shuts out anyone who doesn't play by the rules. And that's exactly why you'll never catch Keanu sitting on that View couch. But here's where things get real interesting. After all that drama, Keanu actually showed support for Monique, and not with some basic social media post. He backed her with actions. When Lee Daniels was casting for The Butler, you know, the one starring Oprah, Keanu was reportedly offered the role of President Nixon. That would have been huge. But Keanu said nope. And considering Monique had been calling out Daniels for blackballing her, Keanu's decision hit different. So when he later called out Whoopi, who tried to gaslight Monique on The View, it made one thing crystal clear. Keanu isn't siding with Hollywood's inner circle. He's standing with the ones who got shut out by it. Now, let's talk about the bigger beast here, The View itself. This show acts like it's all about real talk and honest debate, but more and more people are seeing through the act. It's a machine, a carefully controlled mouthpiece designed to guide the conversation exactly where the network wants it. And Whoopi, she's not there to challenge anything. She's there to redirect, downplay, or shut down whatever the higher-ups don't want getting too loud. And the flip-flopping, that's been happening for years. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, Donald Trump actually hired Whoopi to perform at his casinos multiple times. Then in 2011, he even showed up as a guest on The View, and Barbara Walters introduced him like, "This is my friend." Whoopi was all smiles with him, acting friendly on camera. But fast forward to his presidency, and Whoopi turned ice cold. She refused to even say his name on air, demanding protests and throwing shade every chance she got. That kind of switch-up shows exactly how calculated her image is, depending on who's calling the shots behind the scenes. So when Keanu Reeves says Whoopi is not a good person and calls The View a psyop, this isn't some wild-eyed conspiracy talk.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, a real estate mogul, and a television star. But does he really want to add president of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to. Please, let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
Let me just ask, if you did beat...
And she likes me. She even put me in her movies.
I was just going to say.
She put me in her movies,
yes,
right?
We
A
are
long time ago.
friends.
So how much should I judge? Nothing.
Like they say in the
It was a freebie.
He's pulling the curtain back on a system that uses familiar, trusted faces like Whoopi to shape what millions of people accept as truth. It's not paranoia, it's a warning. Because Keanu, he's the complete opposite of everything The View represents. He's real, stays low-key, and wants nothing to do with Hollywood's manipulative games. While Whoopi thrives in the middle of all this scripted chaos, smiling for the cameras and pushing whatever narrative the network wants, Keanu stays out of the noise entirely. He's not about the stagey drama. He doesn't jump on trendy talking points just to stay relevant. Instead, Keanu keeps it private, keeps it clean, and speaks up when it actually matters. He's been quietly calling out injustice without chasing headlines, and that's exactly why so many respect him.
She likes me. She even put me in a movie.
I was just gonna say.
She put me in the movies, right? A long time ago. So how much did I judge? Nothing.
Like they say in the
It was a freebie. Johnny, I love you. I'm telling you.
While gatekeepers like Whoopi filter what we see and hear, twisting the narrative to fit the moment, Keanu stands out as one of the few who won't play the game. He's not here to mislead, distract, or divide.
That Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise level of fame, that's some over-the-top fame. There's no obvious outward displays of wealth from him. I mean, he's insanely wealthy. But when you see him, he's got like a regular watch on and sneakers. He's normal. Man, it's real weird. Like, there he is right there on the subway, just chilling, you know? And he looks like a totally normal dude. And people freak out. They're like, is that? No, can't be. Like, people ignore him because he's figured out a way to just sort of
disappear
blend
in plain sight.
And then even if you talk to him, he's just normal. Look at it. He lets his chick sit down, you know? He said, do you want to sit down? Go ahead. Boom. And he just stands up. Look at it. I mean, even the way he's not, nope.
He's just not built for that fake spotlight lifestyle. And that makes him a real one in a world full of scripts.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?